everybody.
Hi.
Hi.
Hello.
So we're in a new place with a new face.
Yay.
Welcome to
In mind, we
We
trust.
Trust. I forget every time when I say welcome to, I forget.
But it's okay. I think that's part of life,
This
right?
is Malvika,
This is Akshaya.
and
We have our friend, Akshaya's colleague, Pallavi. Let me do a quick introduction. Pallavi works with Brick House. She's a dear friend of mine. In fact, one of the first people I met when I was here in Dubai.
In
And
Dubai,
she's
yes.
been very, very sweet. She's been like a sister to me.
Oh, nice.
No,
That's
you have been very sweet
Really?
and warm,
Oh,
and I
that's
think
nice.
Akshay will second that as a
yeah,
colleague.
definitely as a colleague, I think you've been really welcoming, really, and you guide me really well into the
That's
work.
nice.
So it's really nice having you as a mentor,
Oh,
guide.
that's sweet.
Yeah.
And
That's
we're
sweet.
talking about spirituality today. And the reason why we're talking about spirituality with Pallavi is that both of us, Akshay and I, we've noticed that aspect of you in very seamlessly in your daily life. Be it
I yap a
personally-
lot about all these things, I
No,
think.
the
Acha,
fact
no.
that you don't yap
Yeah.
about it, but it's very seamlessly, it just shows
Ah,
in your mannerisms and the way you hold your values. I
okay.
think that's why we thought of no better person but you to speak about spirituality about.
And I'm feeling
But we
good.
don't have to keep it very, very serious. We can
No,
keep
no,
it
of course
very
not. I'm
organic
already
and
feeling good about it. So
Good.
yes.
Okay.
we're glad. And of course, Pallavi will be asking stuff, but we are also going to be sharing our own, experiences on those questions. So feel free to also ask us back or,
Yeah.
say, oh God, this is becoming too
Wow.
heavy. We don't know.
Definitely.
We'll keep
Okay.
it light and conversational.
Yeah.
The idea is to just learn about how do you practice spirituality and how can we incorporate these
So-called.
expert
No, but
ways.
I'm very interested in this because also as a mental health professional, and
Yeah.
there's so much talk about mindfulness everywhere. I see that you are a person who upholds spirituality so highly in your life without the jargon of it or without making you sound holier than thou, right? You never make us feel like, you guys don't know this or you are lower than me. So I think I'm very interested to know how this spiritual aspect of you also affects
Right.
all other aspects of your life, especially your mental health.
Yeah, and also I do think that nowadays it's very hard to hear about spirituality from people close to our age, and it becomes difficult to talk to people who are older because they, go about mixing spirituality with a lot of different, like
Religion,
religion.
basically.
Yes,
Absolutely.
Yeah,
yes,
and it
yes.
becomes difficult to separate those conversations, and so it really comes to a point where I would like to understand how someone close to my age practices spirituality or mindfulness more actively in our day to day work and functions, etc. So anything that you share is going to be good for us. I promise.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Can we start?
Absolutely. I'm all game.
One of the first things we want to ask you is what is spirituality for you?
Okay. So, okay, I'm not an expert. Let's start with that. I'm not an expert on these things, but I am just telling you out of my experience, out of my, things that I've felt, I've learned, unlearned, and a lot of other things. So, spirituality in a very layman language is connecting with something that is a little above you or higher than you are, something which is more not just cosmic and but something which has got to do with not the materialistic things that we have at the moment, because you will definitely want a Rolex, you will definitely want a Lamborghini, you will definitely want the amazing things or a or a Christian Dior or XYZ things in your life, along with me neither, along with the other things in life. But I think it's more to connect with something which is slightly higher than you yourself. So it's not me, myself, I every time. I think it's got to do with a lot of connection that you make with people in terms of spirituality. And so people really relate spirituality with religion, and that's not the case. So these are two absolute different aspects of life, and these are two very different topics to discuss. But when it comes to spirituality, it is just to let yourself know that there is something which is higher in energy, in cosmic energy, if I may say so, and a little more above you.
Okay.
So once you have the thinking of there's something above you, your ego actually takes a back seat.
Right.
So that's one thing that you have to learn about spirituality. And
Mm.
the idea of spirituality is to lead you to peace, ultimate. That's the ultimate goal, peace and solace.
Mm.
Now, I mean, there are different ways of getting there, but then spirituality, if you may ask what it means exactly, is connecting to the higher energy, higher self, and believing in the cosmic energy and thinking that yes, there is something that exists, which is a little higher than you are, which is a little more larger than you are, and it's not just about the materialistic things, that because they definitely make a part of our life and a bigger part of our life, but then you should understand that there's some non-tangible or intangible things that are there which are governing your life and the things around you. And once you start understanding that, I think that's when you feel that you are leading a life of not just materialistic things engrossing, or you're engrossed in materialistic things.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's spirituality.
When you're saying all of this, I'm almost thinking like it's such a humbling experience. It
Absolutely,
makes you
absolutely.
think like you're part of a larger scheme of things, a sense of larger purpose
Right.
that you get when you're just not always chasing a material world. And especially, and we've done a podcast on social media, and every time you open social media, you will see everyone chasing these very material aspects of success and what is important in life. And when you say this, it almost makes you also question and reflect on the pace of life that you're leading, what your values are, and stuff. It's actually very refreshing, like Akshay said, to hear it from somebody who's our own age.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
I had a follow up. So you were saying something about the higher power, trusting in a process that's not within you but something outside. And nowadays, a big topic of discussion is the power of manifestation
Absolutely.
and how people are channeling, manifesting their dream life and money and all those things. But I personally don't even know how to manifest. I might have written a few things here and there. I might have written a note and stuck it on my desk or my laptop or in the corner of my room or created a vision board. But how do you like, you personally, how do you channel that every day? How do you manifest every day? Or if you don't
That's a good
manifest,
question.
that's fine. I just want to know, how do you channel your energies every day?
Okay, so the first thing now, okay, so spirituality to manifestation. So we're taking that route right now.
Okay.
Now, when you talk about manifestation, manifestation is something which is not exactly a part of spirituality, but a part of positive thinking, because you can manifest anything, good, bad, negative. When you talk about manifestation, you're talking about subconscious mind.
Mm.
Subconscious mind does not know what is right and wrong. Your conscious mind will know what is right and wrong. So if you keep on harping the fact that you're good at something, at certain point in time you'll actually start becoming good at that thing. So when you're talking about channelizing energies or talking about manifestation, I think the first rule of manifestation is to feel that it's already done. I want an Lamborghini, example, or I want this in this car, I want whatever car, I want a Mercedes. Okay, you have to start thinking that you own a Mercedes. That's the first step of manifestation. So it's not like you writing it down. People do that so that you have a recall of that thing every day, because you have to have that kind of reminder. And I mean, our brain cells are limited to certain aspect. But then manifestation, the first step of manifestation is to feel and believe that that's already done and dusted. It's already there, you already have it. Because then your actions will start revolving around that particular thing, because it's very easy to trick the brain. That's the easiest thing to do and the most difficult thing to do. So once you understand how easy it is, I think everything follows up. But manifestation, the first step is to think and believe that it's already done. So in let's say very personally, what I generally do is, if I want to do things, if I want or desire for certain things, I have to start feeling, and I start feeling that it's already there and done and dusted.
Yeah.
Because people will want to get from point A to point B in terms of monetary, in terms of money, or in terms of fame, or whatever that is. Start feeling that it's already there. Start feeling that your bank account already has this X amount, and then you'll start spending like that. So you have to be a very conscious spender as well. Not like, "Arey, theek hai, mere paas hai," and then you kind of go ahead with that kind of mindset. But start believing the fact. And again, it has to do a lot with the subconscious mind. Conscious mind will keep on advising you to stop, because It's more pragmatic and practical
Yeah.
approach.
Mm.
But subconscious mind will keep on telling you, sky's the limit.
Mm.
Sky's the limit. So you have to start dreaming and believing. So if you're just dreaming, a dream will always be a dream. But dreaming and becoming a practicality with these things will make it into what is reality, of course.
Tell me one thing, Pallavi. Is it hard to be somebody who's spiritual or even practice this sort of a manifestation, uh, practice manifestation in the modern world today when everything is so fast paced?
Not really. That's not the answer what you were expecting. So
Yeah.
yes, it's tough. It's
Yeah. No, I
hard.
want to know yeah, how? How?
Okay,
If you're saying it's not really hard,
it's
then
not
how do
hard.
you?
I'll tell you what. I felt it was difficult because I didn't do it. So I never went to the other side, and I kept on thinking, oh, the jump, the leap of faith is too much for me to, get done with. But I think it's just the breaking of the ice. It's like a session, like you break the ice and you try to figure out what is in the other side. It is, of course, it is difficult to get out of your comfort zone because when you have a routine to inculcate anything that is new, specifically when it has to do with your cerebral,
Yes.
things or whatever that is,
Yeah.
it is tough. It isn't easy. It is tough.
Yeah.
Because physically, you can motivate yourself to go to the gym, you can
Right.
motivate yourself to go for a swim or a jog and XYZ things or do this task, that task. But telling your mind to have that kind of peace, because when you talk about spirituality, you're actually talking about getting away from that materialistic thing, even for a brief moment, but just disengaging yourself from that environment. How can you do that? There are ways, there are different ways to do that. But when you say it is difficult or easy, it isn't that difficult. It isn't. It's just that you need to just break that code or just have that from A point to B point, you just need to take that leap of faith. That's it.
I'll tell you why I thought this is hard because I think it requires some kind of privilege to be able to break or disconnect, right? When give you an
Wow.
example.
Okay.
Suppose I'm in a very stressful job or my life is extremely difficult, right? Because of different challenges, let's say money, family, friends, etc., marriage, whatever. And I am so caught up in that stress, or I'm so caught up in fulfilling my daily needs, for example, that I will not have the privilege of taking a break and taking 1 hour for, let's say, self-care or spiritual health or mindfulness.
Well, I'll tell you, Malu, that's the only time when you can actually, or when generally maximum number of people have actually gone into, thinking in a certain format or whatever that is. Because spirituality came to me at the same time. I wasn't very spiritual initially because, because of different things, of course. You're caught up in the materialistic one. I wanted to get this thing. I wanted to be here. I want to be, having this much amount in my bank account. I should have this much of amount in my bank account. And this is what I want to do in life. And my goals are entirely different. 10 years back, or let's say even 5 years back, my goals were entirely different. Entirely different. I wanted to be here. I wanted to be everywhere, literally. Not here. I wanted to be everywhere. I wanted to be top this, top that, XYZ. And you keep on, hampering yourself with the same thoughts again and again, so you don't get a break. But when you go to the lows of life, that's when it hits you, that when you are in that phase or space wherein you don't look at that positive light, or you don't have anything, or have anybody who's going to pull you up, and you are in a very stressful situation. That's the time when you actually,
That's very beautifully
yeah,
said. Huh?
Yeah.
jump to that place.
So right here, and I think this has been building for me. What is that leap of faith? What is that jump? How do you break the code? What does it take for a person to do that?
That's a lovely
So
question
yeah, because
and a tough one.
right,
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I don't know how to do that, or have I done it already? I have no idea.
Okay, so that's different for everybody. So it's different. It can be different for Malu. It can be different for you. It can be different for me. But I think for me, it was more driven from a very stressful environment.
Okay.
And then I had no other option. So I had this wall behind me that I couldn't go back. Either I'll break or I'll change. That's it. You can't break. You shouldn't break. That's not the option. So what you do, you change. So for me, I think it was driven from a point that I did not have anything else that I could have done to go from X to Y. and that's one of the reason I chose to do this consciously. But then it's tough, it's tough at that particular point in time when you don't understand how easy it is.
Oh my God, yeah.
That's so profound.
Yeah.
It's so interesting that you said this. I was watching a podcast recently where Will Smith is talking about uh, something very similar to this. Okay, when you need to look at a larger purpose, and he said there are two moments in life when this happens. One is when you hit rock bottom, and when you're at cliff top.
Cliff top, yes.
So he said at both these moments, you'll realize that there's nowhere else to go. You need to look beyond. So, like you said, rock bottom, you can't go back. So, what else do? You take the leap of faith. And when you're at cliff top, you're like, okay, I've reached her. Now, what is the
Now
purpose
what
of
is the
life?
point?
Then
Yeah.
you look for deeper answers.
Yeah.
And I found that also very, very, very profound. And you said something very similar.
Yeah. So it's the same thing. But just get yourself. So don't wait for that situation. Don't wait for the situation that I was in. That's what I'll say. The good part is, and what you rightly said is, people only think about the situation when they're either at the top or the bottom. Maximum people are here.
Yeah.
Maximum people are here. So it's not the top, nor neither the bottom.
Yeah.
So you'll have to start from somewhere where you are at this particular point in time. You'll have to start your journey from there. And why I say this as a journey, because it's the journey that's beautiful. Trust me, it's not the goal. You will never know where you're heading. I think I never knew where I'm heading with spirituality, but the journey itself made it a little more easier for me. And there are different things that you can see in yourself, the changes that you can observe after a certain point in time. So it's not like it's going to happen today. You start with that kind of motivation today. Aaj se main spiritual hoongi. From today I'm going to do it, and tomorrow you're like, okay, 1 week, okay, I'm going to do it. 1 month, and then you're like, what the hell? I'm not even getting anywhere. It's not that.
Yeah.
It's the same journey. You're just there. It's just that one step up. You never know where that one step up is going to happen. So you have to continue that. And that's going to happen because you're starting from point A to an unknown journey because you don't know what's on the other side. And trust me, it's beautiful on the other side. Believe you me. It's coming from somebody who's already, I think, who's already taken that.
Yeah.
The journey is not ending. I'm just talking about the jump right now.
Yeah.
So once you jump, you're going to be much more calmer. You're going to be much more at peace. You're going to be more comfortable with things that are around you. You'll not be perturbed by things that are around you. So I think you'll become a little more, better as a human being. Not that you guys are not great or I'm not great. You're already amazing. But I think you just become better in terms of how you look at things and how you react to things. So that's important.
I'm I'm very interested to know because you're in real estate and in Dubai. How is this approach to life
Wow.
helping you professionally?
Okay. I think I am what I am because I have that kind of thought process now. Initially, I don't know. I mean, I'm sure you guys have not seen it, but initially, people who know me have seen me panicking as well, getting a lot perturbed about things. So for us, in real estate, deal is everything. The conversion of a customer is everything, and you have so many things going in and out, and around with that person or with that deal or with that kind of environment that it's difficult to keep yourself at peace all the time. It's next to impossible. Let me put it like that. It's next to impossible. But then, how it has helped me is it has made me a little more. I don't react to things. I respond to things now. So I take my own time. I analyze things and then I respond to things. I'm not there. I'm still a part of the journey, and it's going to take time. Looking at how I am and how I was, immediately I had to react to everything. Do this and do that, and I was not a very calm person ever. This is the most calmest. Yes, actually, I wasn't.
This version of you
Yeah,
then.
yeah. So I wasn't calm at all. At all. I was, I was everywhere. And I thought that I had it all, and I had control of everything. It was the opposite. It was absolutely opposite. But you realize it a little later when you start feeling drained, out of energy, out of mental peace, health, everything, because this affects everything.
Absolutely.
The word stress, which is absolutely a part of everybody's routine or dictionary or whatever you call it, is not is a disastrous word, to be honest. And when you're going through that stress, you realize that you're losing out on a lot of things. You feel that you're in control, but you aren't. But you aren't. It's exactly the opposite, as I mentioned. You aren't. So in real estate, it has made me much more peaceful, calmer. I respond to things now. I analyze things a little more better, and I don't react to things immediately. So I take my time. I just process that information, good, bad, ugly, great, whatever that is, and I take my time to sit back and think from the customer's point of view as well. So, when somebody is acting A, the question should not be, why you are acting like this? Why are you getting, whatever, if the person is acting jittery or if the person is agitated, you as a salesperson or as a consultant or should never have this question even in your mind. Forget, you're not going to be asking the client for sure, but even in your mind, is like, no, why is the person reacting or acting in such a manner? We've already done whatever we can. He or she should just chill a bit. No, we'll have more compassion. We'll have more empathy. So all these words will actually, take you to exactly. You put it into practice. This will become a reality. You'll be more compassionate towards the people that you're dealing with, not just a client, with your companions as well. So you'll be a little more passionate. You'll be a little more understanding. You'll have a little more gratitude as well. You'll have a little more gratitude, and that little more, step by step, the more you practice it, will take you to from one point to, let's say, from 1 to 10, and then of course multifolded. So yeah, but you become a little more, let's say, in a normal jargon, you become nicer to people around you, is what I would say.
I can vouch for it.
Mm-hmm.
She's always been nice to us, and I have seen her be nice to clients too, and really like patient with everyone,
Yeah.
which is I think what I can vouch for 100%. I have so many questions. I mean, it's ridiculous. I can probably
We'll do
have
a
you.
part two with Pallavi
Yeah,
also.
we may have to, but the oh my god, my brain is like flooded with questions. But I wanted to know from you. Obviously, um, you said there are ways to go about practicing spirituality, and there are hundreds of spiritual leaders out there for people to follow, to take up an approach that's probably what the spiritual leaders are, preaching about. But do you do this by yourself? Do you follow a spiritual leader? What do you recommend, and how does one start this?
I don't think I'm an expert to actually recommend somebody, to be honest. I
That's
I
okay.
I
Yeah.
I I mean, it's for you to actually find it. It's like it should be a eureka moment for you guys as well. Say, okay, I found this person, or I found this thing, or whatever that is. Um, I read, of course, about everybody. I read whatever is available. I read whatever my dad tells me to read, to be honest, at this particular stage as well, because
Dad's coming
he's
through.
he's a voracious reader, and I think most of that comes from
Shout out to
my
Pallavi's
yes.
grand.
Yes.
So most of that comes from my father, of course, because he's a voracious reader. Comes from my mother also, because of the way she's handled everybody in the social circle. So that's the practice where what you learn. You see what you learn what you see. Sorry, you learn what you see. That's one.
Right.
And so my chats with my father are more elaborate. Again, anything from astrophysics to something which has got to do with history, something which has got to do with yoga, spirituality. He's a voracious reader. He's read a lot of books, and that is
Fastest.
that is something that I have learned from him. Apart from that, you learn things. How you practice it, something which is very individualistic. How Malu practices it, or Akshaya does it, or Pallavi, or anybody else does it, it's something which is very different. Uh, now, how I do it is very, I don't know, cliche, I would say. So I try to move out everything that is around me, take a break. I go home. Okay. Whenever I get my time or me time or whatever you call it, after everything that I do, all the activities that I do for myself as well, after that, you just sit and try not to think of anything, which is the most toughest thing to do.
Yeah,
Which is the most
ridiculous.
tough, very tough. That's when you get into meditative stage. That's meditation for you. How do you practice this? I practice it through Brahmi, basically. That's again a form of, you know, yeah, meditation, yoga, absolutely. So I started that, and then I got into, a bit of meditation, which I couldn't do more than 30 seconds. Your brain is traveling everywhere at the same time.
Yes.
So you couldn't do more than 30 seconds. I was like, I am nowhere, and I will not be able to achieve what I want to achieve. And I'm meeting people, or I'm talking to people who are like, no, no, I said for 5 minutes. I said, 5 minutes? Initially, 5 minutes are like easy breezy. 5 minutes. When you sit for it, like 5 minutes? That is not possible, at least not in my lifetime, or this lifetime for sure. But then you start with 30 seconds. You start with 10 seconds, dude. Really. You start with 10 seconds and you go to 30. That's not the only way, though. Meditation is tough, but that's not the only way. Just go out. The good part is where we are staying at the moment, you have a lot of beaches.
Oh yes.
And you go to any, I mean, you're a water baby, of course, but you
I'm
can.
telling you, for me, swimming, when you were explaining this, Pallavi, for me, all I could think of is greenery and water.
Water,
When I'm in these parts of the world, I am I can disengage from my thoughts, which is otherwise very difficult to know.
So you just sit by the beach or sit by the water, any water body, and just what I do is I just look at water. Look as in I just look.
Watch it.
I just watch it. I'm not observing anything specific. I'm not finding the fishes in the water or whatever that is. But probably I'm just looking at the ripples that are created in the water, or the small or big tides that are created in the water, or the kind of reflection that the water has at that particular point in time, or how the sun reflects on that water. I'm just looking at that. And suddenly you'll observe, I was just looking at this and nothing else.
Yeah, beautiful.
That is the inception of spirituality for you, which is the easiest thing. That's why I said to get there is the easiest thing. Or nature. Now that will make you feel, when you look at water, it's larger than you are.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yes.
I mean, it's massive. You look at nature. I mean, look at nature. Look at the greenery, or look at any kind of nature. It's not just the greenery you're talking about, because we relate nature to just greenery. No. Look at just the sand dunes.
Yes.
I mean, they're massive, they're smaller, they're bigger at the same time. They can be recreated. They have a different flow. They have a different energy. The energy is way much more larger than you are. Then you'll feel more humbled.
I'm with you on this.
Then you'll feel more humble.
I love that. Yes.
Then you'll feel more. Then you'll feel like you're nothing but a tiny
speck of dust.
Not even a speck of dust. You're just not even that molecule or whatever that is. But yeah, you feel. Then you realize what are larger things in life, and sometimes you'll just feel that the beauty that you're actually in search of is in front of you, which generally is in front of you.
Beautiful.
Yeah, when you're there. So yeah.
Yeah, those are big words.
That's beautiful. I kind of have experienced, especially in the last 3-4 years when I've slowed down my life.
Exactly.
I've experienced what you're saying. This morning I was in the pool, in the swimming pool, and when I was underwater, I could just see the sun's reflections on the tides, and I could just feel exactly what you just said. You know, there's nothing else for me but that light in the blue water, and I was only there. So the whole the idea of being just present and focused, and it's the most simplest things in life, but the most gifted things in life, and puts things in perspective. So I can totally relate to what you said. We'll have to end here, but I want one last, just it's a one word thing, okay?
Sure.
And maybe all of us can take a take at it. Spirituality to you is, complete the sentence.
Goal towards the ultimate.
Okay.
Peace, solace. That's it.
Akshay, spirituality to you is?
After this conversation with Pallavi, I think it's more about being in the moment and being mindful. So yeah, I guess that's what it means for me for now. It may change, like you said. It may change in a little while. What about you?
Impermanence and flow. To just not attach too much to future anxieties and past regrets, and just try and be in the moment, flow,
That's
life
awesome.
itself.
Yeah. I'll adopt both of those.
But thank you so much, guys. I
Most
loved
welcome.
this podcast. I think we're going to get Pallavi. This is not even an audience poll. Pallavi, you have to come for a part 2. This has been exceptional for me. I love this conversation.
For us, you have to come back.
We love
I don't
this.
know about our listeners, but just
But then you guys are nice people, so anything for you guys.
Thank you.
But thank you, guys. We hope you loved it. We certainly did. I think I can feel the energy in this space. Hope you liked it. Like, share, subscribe.
And shout out to
Pallavi. Thank you,
her dad and
thank you.
her
Thank you so much.
Thank you so much.
Thank you. See you next
Bye, guys.